Hello and welcome to another edition of Kerbal Career Program. My name is Jim, aka Sacharmula Beta, and this week I'm doing a couple things. I'm sending a station to the Moon, and I'm also launching a Sentinel satellite, which is kind of one of the medium. Where am I at? Oh, hello. Why every time? Hey, Snookums. Okay. The Sentinel satellite is kind of a medium stage uh, of technology in the in KSP, and basically what it is we're going to put a satellite in solar orbit that will be used to detect satellites that are threatening Kerbin. So I've already got that built. I'm going to do this first. This is also going to double as a communication satellite, basically acting as a relay. Anytime something is in a position that maybe can't get back to Kerbin for later stage games. So I do have my windows open, so I'm probably going to hear some road noise. I don't live on a particularly loud street, but it's hot. Or it's not hot. It's warm today, and it's warm in my office, so I'm going to have some windows open. You might hear them a little bit. Let's see. So this is ready to go. It should be ready to launch. So we've got to send it off. I did modify my. I call it an Atlas. Technically, this is a Delta. This is a similar version of a Delta 4 or Delta Heavy, but I did modify it a little bit to include a probe core and some solar panels and also some Werner engines, so that we can maneuver this a little bit better in space, and also eventually maneuver this into a probably a crash into the sun. Because or Kerbal or whatever you want to call it, because I want to get rid of it. So we're gonna launch here. Oh, you know what? This is actually I just got the new version. I want to see real quick if I can. Oh no. Got that thing again. I'm actually going to revert and see if I can do where the new launch pads are, because they actually added a couple new launch pads, including a desert launch pad and a landing point. Let's see. How do I change? Or can you not change launch points from career mode? Well, I thought there was an option to toggle where you launch from. Well. Also, now I can't seem to access. What are you doing, Snookums? Scratching at a box. Like to do. Oh, that's weird. I thought I could launch from. I didn't realize I can do it in career mode, so I won't. I do need to set up actions for this. I think that was one thing I hadn't done. So 5, 8. Yeah, so 8 will deploy antennas and solar panels. Okay, that looks good. We'll go ahead and launch. So basically, the only thing I modified on this actual launch vehicle is the upper stage, and this has more Delta V than necessary to complete the mission, as with most of the things I build, because I am. I can't believe I put a seismic scanner on here. That's weird. It's kind of a goofy thing to do. All right, so toggle SAS, throttle up, and launch. This is a fairly hefty satellite for what it is, because it has to go into a solar orbit, which is actually not that much, but it needs to. It's not just going into Kerbin orbit. I have to escape the Kerbin sphere of influence. Ooh, it's getting a little wiggly there. So this is set up again where it is cross-feeding fuel from the from the 2 side boosters into the central core. And I was mistaken. I thought the Falcon Heavy had that capability. They had talked about it, but apparently they never actually did it. And they just throttle the central core down to a lower level so that it can burn longer. I thought they were actually cross-feeding it, and apparently I was incorrect. So it's kind of a bummer too, because that's a cool idea. Oh, you know, I got Separatrons. I probably this launch vehicle could stand to have some Separatrons added to it. I don't need them for this, but it would be nice to have a little bit extra room for error as far as where these rockets actually go. So I may do Separatrons on the next iteration of this. Flame out on those, and there we go. They wouldn't crash into each other, probably, if I had Separatrons on them. Oh, looks like they may not actually crash into each other this time. You know what? I think that there was also some kind of bug fix on the fairings generating too much. Fairings generating too much drag, so that may be something to do with that. Some things causing some drag issues. So, basically, once again, I'm just setting as high an orbit as I can, or a fairly high orbit. And about half the Delta V is burned out. I will probably have way more than I need to do this. I mean, I know I'll have way more, but I'm going to have like an excessive amount. So I'm going to have to do 500 kilometer orbit, give or take. And then switch to map mode. Go ahead and circularize. Oh yeah, I've got 7,000 meters per second of Delta V. So, let's see something real quick. I originally designed this to have the extra Delta V, but I wonder if I can do it with just this. Is the thrust to weight ratio okay? Yeah, actually it's fine. So I don't need these boosters. You can cut the cost of this mission down considerably by getting rid of that. I do need to add some Delta Wings, though, just for a little bit more stability during the launch. And yeah, okay. 1.33 is fine thrust to weight ratio for this, and it's still got tons of Delta V. I don't know why I overbuilt this so much, but it did. So we're going to go ahead and launch it like that, save us a little bit of extra cash. I did this kind of in a hurry, so I just grabbed my heavy launch vehicle because the Soyuz derived one is not enough to do it. I don't think, to get the Delta V I need, but that was excessive. So we'll try this again with a launch. Ready to do our gravity turn. It's definitely not going as fast as the other one, but its thrust to weight ratio is lower. Although not that much not that much better on the other one. It was about 1.6 to 1, and this was about 1.3 to 1. So which my experience is that 1.2 is about where you want to be with that. Anything more is technically excessive, but sometimes, since my engine choices are limited at this point, I can't really tweak it too much. But yeah, 1.2 is plenty. You need something better, higher than 1, and it can't be just like 1.0 something. It has to be, probably at least 1.15 or 1.1 to really do what you want. All right, so here we go. Yeah, this is going to work a lot better. because I'm going to ditch this stage. I'll stage. Well, still at Kerbin, so this will crash back down. I won't have to worry about debris. Oh, it has a mystery goo container on. Why did I put a mystery goo container? Oh, I guess I was doing any science experiments. It didn't need the seismic thing, but that's really besides the point. So I'm just going to get as high an orbit as I can, high an apoapsis as I can with this first stage. And then we'll stage using a little bit of thrust on the second stage just to get us clear, because I didn't have separatrons on this. And then we'll circularize with the second stage. Okay, so we're clear now. And set a maneuver node to circularize. All right, and the nice thing about this, well, we should deploy the fairing too, and then number 8 to open up all of our comms array and solar panels. This is excessive. This is also solar panels are excessively large for that. Oh, they're clipping. Well, that's fun. And that's not a big deal too, though. But they're excessive for this. But the solar, having lots of batteries and stuff like that is going to be helpful, because this is going to act as a relay as well as a object tracking. I don't know how much that satellite actually, or that camera actually uses, because it's some kind of infrared camera, I think, on this, but I don't know how much it actually uses. And burn to circularize. 3,000 meters per second of delta V in this this thing. Come on, there we go. I can't wait until I get the highest level probe cores so I can get actual target tracking, or not, excuse me, not target tracking, but maneuver node lock. It makes doing these precise, or this doesn't have to be precise, but it makes doing precise maneuvers much easier. All right, and we are in orbit now. Actually in orbit, and we're almost where we want to be. There we go. And then it does have specifications for an orbit, and it's, let's see. Yeah, an apoapsis of 11.15 billion meter. Well, yeah, million kilometers. Yeah, around the sun. So we need to. I gotta look at the. Okay. So we're actually going to burn here, or set our maneuver here. There we go. And that's probably not the most efficient way to do that, but I've got lots of delta V, so it doesn't matter. got those Werner engines too to help out. I should be using them to make my life a little easier here. Because this doesn't have RCS thrusters on it. The main thing doesn't have RCS thrusters, but it really doesn't need it there. It's got tons of control with the reaction wheels for its size. So not a big deal, and it really just has to park there. And once it's in orbit, that's all it does. So we'll warp to our next maneuver as soon as I can get. Set this a little bit more. I can definitely be more efficient with this. All right, there we go. A little bit less delta V on that one. Now we'll go ahead and warp to maneuver. Setting up for a brief 52-second burn. There we go. And what's my periapsis? Pretty close. Time to periapsis, 211 days. So we will set a maneuver here. Oh, that's the thing I got to remember to install is Kerbal alarm clock. I keep forgetting to put it back in here. And then there we go. Yep, nice orbit there. Yeah, so 211 days for our maneuver. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this first, because I'm going to have to do other stuff in the meantime. And then we'll be able to retask that satellite if we need to. We can actually... You know what I should do? Now, even though it would save me money, I want to get the missions for it first. I could definitely do Eve flybys, and you know, use Eve's gravity to set my final orbit. But I'm just gonna do it as a simple mission here to accomplish that goal. So go back to the Space Center, and then we're going to launch the Mun base, or not, excuse me, Mun station. This one will need the actual heavy rocket on that. But let's see here. Yeah, so I have a nice Mun station. It's got docking ports. Basically, these are extended out so I can either dock, you know, the smaller vehicles with the Clampetron Junior, or the larger vehicles with the standard Clampetron, and also dock some new modules to this if I need to. Which there's generally missions to expand these, and it might be useful for me to do so. Mainly adding extra fuel, because the Mun will be a good, you know, well, actually Minmus is the place you want to have a fuel depot, because it's so much easier to get off of. The delta V required to get off of Minmus is very low. and there's great places to set down and set up bases. So, and on the subject of that base, I'm going to go to that base here as soon as I get this in orbit of the Mun, or get this launched. So let's see. Actually, no, I'm going to do that now. So I don't remember how many days of lapse, and I have limited power on that base. Limited power storage specifically. The Mun base has more room on it, or more power storage on it. I did not do enough, and it also has bigger solar panels. Oh, yeah, there's only 9 units of science on it. All right, so back to the Space Center. Get ready to launch the Mun station. And the Mun station also has additional... it's got way more communications equipment on it that it really needs to have to, again, operate as a relay for things on the Mun. So, and it's not picky about... Research lab, maintain stability, couple of 7 Kerbals. Yeah. And this has enough for exactly 7 Kerbals. I got to make sure I take the crew out of it. Oh, there's one thing I didn't put on here, though, is a... is a control unit. No, I don't want to do that. There's no probe core, so I'll pop a probe core right up there. And that will let us control this thing. So, launch. Yes, we're ready. Okay, launch. Because it doesn't actually have to have a Kerbal on it, so I'm not going to. Because I don't want to use them. All right, SAS enabled. And launch. This one's much heavier. It's still got a 1.49 to 1 thrust weight ratio, which is pretty good for size of this thing. This particular heavy lift vehicle is pretty efficient. It's pretty good for what it is. The prices for that Sentinel thing. Oh no! Oh no! 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 Ho! Ooh! All right. Got to be more careful with how I make that gravity turn. The heavy payload at the top is a problem. Might as well do a material study while I'm here. Okay, be a little more careful on that gravity turn. It's good to know. This is quite top heavy because it's got this big station on the top. I might have to rethink this launch vehicle. I'm not sure if it's capable of actually doing this. It can lift the payload, but it's the weight distribution is the problem. Got quite a bit of drag at the top too, from that fairing. Wanting to pull it over, so I'm going to have to be real ginger with this gravity turn. Not as efficient as I probably would like, but again, I've got so much extra delta V on this mission that I'm not particularly concerned about that. I just don't want to lose control. I have to be really careful when I lose these boosters because I'm going to have a a pretty significant change in thrust. And my stability control, so... It looks good so far. And again, similar launch profile. All right, now that I'm sure it's not going to fly out of control, go ahead and do the speed up here. Rework the staging. Deploy the solar panel. Excuse me. All right, cool. So yeah, that's a high orbit now, and then I want to see, I might be able to get a Mun encounter here. Yeah, here we go. Which delta V is that? 1,000. You know what? I'm just going to uncircularize and then worry about the burn. I wanted to see if I could do it in one go, but I think that's a bad idea. All right. Oh, I can stop my time warp. Warp to next maneuver. What did we say it was? An 84-second burn. Okay. Nicely lined up. These antennas were entirely unnecessary, but I thought they looked cool. And this station is definitely more in the, I guess, the Skylab configuration, where, not Skylab, but I don't know, it doesn't, it's a single launch station, which I can expand later, but, you know, it's a little big, I guess, for a single launch station. Oh, I guess not too bad, but for going to the Mun, certainly not big in Kerbal Space Program terms, but it's a little large in probably in terms of what we would actually do for a real life station for Mun. Although it's not that far off. But the Kerbin system is much more forgiving than the solar system, or the Kerbal system is much more forgiving than the solar system. All right. Now let's burn for the Mun. Again, add a maneuver here. That's good enough. Come on. Oh, I got it select behind the... Alright, so 3 hours. Burn, and then going for 44-second burn, 376.2 meters per second. I'm going to jettison... Actually, I don't know that I'm going to jettison this. I'll just keep it. Because that's extra fuel, which I can use for refueling landers. Then once it's empty, I will probably jettison it. In a spectacular Mun crash fashion. But I don't run most of these missions. Like I look and see how much Delta V Kerbal Engineer will give me Delta V readout, and that's how much that's about as far as it goes. So I never really tested this to see what it would do. So yeah, we ended up with more than we needed. It sounds like I got way more monopropellant than it needs. But again, this is more thinking forward for another another station. If I want to do any Mun landings or anything like that, using this as a staging area, especially for going to the Mun base. I can dock a little lander with this. And then use this to act as a transfer station for sending anything to or from the Mun base. So, alright, so that looks good. We'll do a small mid-course correction here to really fine-tune my orbit. My periapsis down to about 100 kilometers. Actually, we can go lower than that. We can go... We'll do 60. Or thereabouts. Slight course correction. You know what? Actually, I'll probably use up most of the Delta V in this. Getting into Mun orbit, so... I probably won't have that leftover fuel. That's okay. I won't miss it. And close this. Okay, cool. And then let's plan our... actually, I'm going to set a collision course for the Mun. And then point retrograde. What? I don't know if that's actually gonna hit now. Alright. So we'll do that at 50 kilometers instead. And then some apoapsis as well. Good enough. 374 meters per second. Okay, and I've got plenty. Oh, I'm locked on retrograde. Stop it. There we go. 36-second burn. You know, if I was smart, I would have sent along a lander to do a rescue as part of this, because I got somebody stranded on the surface still, but I wasn't thinking about it. And also, time warping through my burn. Not as precise an orbit as I wanted. Have to do a little correction here because I goofed up. No. Oh. But I got my station requirements, so that's good. Why can't I get... The warp to next maneuver is not working. Lovely. I have to do it by hand. It's one of those fun little bugs. $50 kilometers. Go back to the Space Center. Collect my money, complete my mission. I also have a mission to build a new orbital station on Minmus. That's what orbital station in a solar orbit. Sure. Why not? I got a mission to plant the flag on Minmus. God. But first, I'm going to finish that orbit and collect some data from Mun orbit. I just need any science whatsoever. Log temperature, doesn't matter. Broadcast it. Collect that mission. So those are easy, silly missions that let you collect a little money and prestige and stuff like that. So there we go. Up the next maneuver. Do a quick 4.9 meters per second burn. this will be a nice stable launching point for other things. And one of the things I may include in an upgrade is larger fuel tanks. Oh, right. That's close. All right. So here we are in orbit, ready to get some Kerbals if we need them. Not actually much science use on this thing. Okay, so that... Oh, Sentinel-1, okay. On its little trajectory here. Way out of the Kerbin system now. Let's switch to the Minmus base. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I want to change this to a station icon, so I know that that's what it is, and then switch to Minmus base. We'll be able to broadcast a little bit of science, get rid of our science, and plant the flag, which is what we've been waiting for. Transmit science. We'll send Bob out to EVA. Extend that ladder. Yep, a little too far. Oh, really? Oh, right. I can get an EVA report for just being in space. Plant flag. Move my cell phone. All right. Flag is planted. Got the world first for doing that one as well, I'm sure. Could walk over the ladder, but this seems way more quicker. Add that to the lab. And that's looking good. Base seems fine. Everything's happy here. You know what? I can toggle that off. I'm basically just turning off anything that uses power. Turn the lights off. Okay. All right. And we just have to keep an eye on the on that Sentinel satellite. Science data from space around Kerbin. Well, I can certainly do that. That's one hell of a lander. Well, yeah. I mean, it was a base using whatever technology I had. Which, given if I had better options, I probably would have built a little bit more sophisticated base. But it needed to have enough space for X number of Kerbals and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it was just, it was what I could do with what I had. So yes, it is rather overly large. And rather weird looking. All right, so I just need a science. Where's my There it is. Log temperature, broadcast. Now, one of the things I need to do is actually rendezvous 2 spacecraft. Yeah, it was one of those missions where you had like this weird amount of, like, you had to have this many Kerbals on it and all that stuff. So it required a little bit extra work. I need to rendezvous 2 craft in orbit of the Mun, which I can do with my station now. So I'll get a for that, and I also need to go ahead and do a rescue. So let's see. I should have a Mun. Yeah. Okay, so it does. I want to make sure it had a docking port on there. It does. What it doesn't have is a whole lot of battery power, which I need to rectify that. Oh, that's probably way more. Actually, that's way more battery power than I need for this thing. 4 is plenty. I also need some monoprop, which this is also an excessive amount of monoprop, but oop, don't want to do that. This is what I want. Oh. 4. Actually, 4 there and 4 there. And that's plenty of RCS. Bop, bop, bop. Excuse me. Ditch that. I think this is a little bit more efficient, cost efficient wise. Which was the Mun 1.0. No, it's actually more expensive. A lot fewer parts would make this cheaper. Well, it's all right. Oh, I did actually add extra parts, though. You should get the RCS build aid mod. I'm trying not to use too many mods, although that one probably would be useful. Also, the docking and port integrator mod would be useful. And I already said I need Kerbal alarm clock. Let's see where the center of mass is, because really that's the. If I get rid of the decoupler, is the center of mass on this thing. Yeah, these are too close to the center of mass. Well, they're not. Yeah. I can't really go any much further. I can adjust the center of mass, though. I can move these up here, which should give me some a little adjustment on center mass. Not much, unfortunately. Move the batteries up here, too. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of difference. It's mostly that fuel. Yeah. I can get it. I can get it close. I mean, that's like. Yeah, it's actually. It looks like it's a little bit below the top of the fuel tank. Right there. Take these off. Zoom out a little bit. Helps. Oh, why is it? Oh, I know why it's showing us. They're behind these fuel tanks. Oh, that's the other thing I can do is put better landing legs on this thing. I have the heavy landing legs now. I don't have to fight it as much. Oh, what happened there? Stop it. There. Pro tip, don't die. I mean, I'm going to try not to. Start these retracted. I don't actually have to worry about clipping. Yeah, so this should... That's what I'm trying to figure out, because this got all messed up now. All the staging got screwed up, so I got to check and see what the delta V is. Let's see. I need... Oh, that's fun. Gotta fix my staging now. Just put that there. That there. Yeah, lots of delta V is what is the answer. Now let's check the staging on the... What is this? Which one is this? Septron. That can go down here. That should knock off the nose cone. Three. Okay, that's right. So everything looks like the staging, everything else is good. The drop tanks add extra, add plenty of extra delta V for this. Now the one thing I gotta check is, I'm gonna leave here real quick. I gotta rescue somebody from orbit, dock with a vessel, dock with the, I'll actually be able to refuel because I can still fuel from that station. But I gotta see how much. Harwin. Oh yeah, that one's at a. Ooh. Oh, wow. That's dangerous orbit. Yeah. If this were a more mountainous planetary body or a solar body or yeah, whatever, celestial body, it would be really you'd be smacking into some stuff because I'm pretty sure there's mountains on Minmus that are higher than that. It is a lot of lines and circles. Let's see. So yeah, I can get him. I can snatch him out of so I can rendezvous with the station, then go pick that guy up, and then land here and pick up a little science probably from that area, and also pick up him and get the heck out of here. So let me see how much money I'm going to get from these 2 missions. Or 3 missions, actually. Science data from space around Minmus, sure. Harwin, I'm going to get 133... Well, 100, basically 150. This one I'm getting 8. Yeah, so I mean it's going to pay for itself. And then analyze. Yeah. Okay. So it's a profitable mission, which is sadly important in career mode. That looks good. So we dock, we rescue the 2, or we rescue the guy from space around the Mun. We land on the Mun, pick up that other guy, and then we get the heck out of there. Sounds good to me. Except I'm going to put a fairing around this. Slightly better efficiency, hopefully. Strut, clamshell deploy, 4 sides, plenty of ejection force, and well, that looks like a dong, but such is the nature of building rockets sometimes. Let's launch. Oh shit, did I forget to put a... Well, no, it should automatically add... I gotta vert flight and take these dummies off of here. They don't need engineers. This up section does look goofy, but, you know... Oh, I didn't want to switch editors. Damn it. Alright. We just need a pilot. I don't even really need to risk Jed. This one. What's up, man? We're about to go back to the moon, or the Mun. Rescue some fools who got stuck, and we will pity them appropriately. Alright, and SAS. Do a quick save game on this. What's going on? Kerbal Space Program, what are you doing this to me? We're not going to the Munge. We're going to the Mun. It's like the moon, but it's spelled differently. What is my thrust to weight ratio on this one? I didn't even look. Oh yeah. Ridiculous. Eventually, once I unlock the rest of the tech tree, I'll be able to actually... Yeah. The moon rules, #1. Oh, you guys are from the moon, huh? Maybe you can tell me who wrote The Moon Rules #1 on my car with a key. I loved Aqua Teen back in the day. Yeah, once I get the tech tree expanded, I'll be able to... God, I got a lot of drag from this fairing. I probably should have just left the fairing off. Um, we I'll be able to just, you know, do single stage orbit space planes, which will save a lot of money on some of these basic missions. They're perfect rescue craft. Stage, watch those crash into each other, probably. No, no. Are they gonna hit? They're gonna hit? They're gonna hit each other? There we go. KSB's got explosions. I technically have all the stuff I need to do, like an Apollo style descent and ascent stage thing. I've got all the pieces, but this is actually a lot easier. Deploy the fairing. There you go. Oh no. So we can't talk. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. Spoilers, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to talk about any spoilers for Infinity Wars, but Infinity War, excuse me. But yeah. So right before watching Infinity War last night, my dad, yes, people don't die in this movie, do they? Ooh. I got good news and bad news. Yeah. That movie's grim. Somebody described it as the Empire Strikes Back of the Marvel Universe, and I think that is probably correct. All right. So this is actually well, man, don't spoil it in the chat, man. Like, don't spoil stuff in the chat. Yeah, but it is brutal. That's all I'll say about it. I don't feel like brothers should be DPing. Real DP brothers. That's not cool. That's a weird thing to be doing. Oh, I forgot there's RCS on this damn thing, too. Turn off RCS. I forgot that they added RCS thruster to that. Yeah, please no Infinity War spoilers for those who haven't watched it. I liked it a lot, though. It's a grim movie in a lot of ways, but I did like it a lot. And I mean, it's a 2-part movie. You know, it's one of those things. Well, I don't think we need to ban them. Uh-oh. Haha, I forgot about my solar panel being deployed. Oh, well, good thing I have a second one. You know, Loki was a fun villain. He was a good foil. I did like that part of Loki. Okay, and then we got to set a maneuver node. Go for the mun. Loki is a charm volcano. Yeah, well, no, Tom Hiddleston is a charm volcano. Uh, there was a discussion about Hiddleston being a new James Bond, actually, which I think is probably the next James Bond, which I think is probably not a good idea. Not that I don't like Tom Hiddleston, but he's just I think he's the wrong type for what they want for a James Bond these days. Do you want to? Do you want to get with you're calling it overflowing with liquid hot charisma? I feel like you are attracted to Tom Hiddleston, which is fine. He's a handsome man. No judgment there. But yeah, they want to make him. There was discussion of him being James Bond, which I think is probably not a great match for what they actually want to do for James Bond. Although if they did, I think if they did a period piece James Bond, that would be he would be a good choice for that if they wanted to go that way. So this is an inefficient mun encounter, but my current. Oh, come on. Oh, this thing is going to fight me. It's doughy. It's so doughy. Honestly, the reason they I don't know that he's the right choice is because they want the last ones they're trying to compete with the Bourne movies and the Mission Impossible movies and stuff like that, and they want a very physically imposing Bond, which you had from Daniel Craig, very beefy guy. But if they did if they did a '60s throwback where it was the Gentleman Spy, where he could be the thin, sort of David Niven type, I think he would be a great choice for that. If they do a throwback to the '60s, which I don't think they'll do. Although, I mean, honestly, they've tried everything else, so. Okay. Again, wildly inefficient mon encounter, but and then I need to. Where's the station? There we go. He should be in the Kingsman movies. I mean, uh, those are. I think the Kingsman movies. Well, yeah. I mean, I think they're really fun. They suffer from their own success because they are so. Yes, we are going to the Mun. Uh, they're so. They're so ridiculous. I gotta switch back to my Minmus base real quick and make sure I transmit science. I don't know how many days worth of science I can actually store on that, or actually transmit. Is what I mean to say. The Kingsman movies suffer from the being the first one was so fun that the second one is like it's almost impossible to top it. I have almost no science on here. So the second one is good. I mean, I like the second one a lot. I saw it. I saw that in theater, and I liked it a lot. But it's a victim of the previous movie's success. Like, you know, it's hard to beat that church scene in the first movie, and the ending of Kingsman was very very fun. So like, they're in a bad situation of having to keep up with themselves. You know, they kind of really did a lot in that one thing, and it's hard. Like when you're already so over the top, it's hard to like get to the next. If you have to keep escalating, they suffer from trying to escalate more and more, because that first one is so ridiculously funny or fun. Watching Mr. Darcy kill the Westboro Baptist Church, set to Freebird, was just you know, that's good. That was good. That was good shit. You can't top that. Although I will say, Sir Elton John is in the second Kingsman movie, and he's very fun. Missed my burn because my damn keyboard's stuck. To make an adjustment to get this encounter right. Alright, how much... do I play Fortnite? No, I do not play Fortnite. I tried it, and I did not like it. I found it kind of boring, to be honest with you. Because I basically spent most of Fortnite running around trying to find somebody and either then killing them or getting killed. The maps are very big. Although I hear they made it like 100 versus 100 now or something like that, which I think is probably better. But yeah, it just I tried and it didn't appeal to me. not a particularly efficient encounter because I kind of screwed up that last one, but we can certainly get... this is the lazy man's docking procedure of just, you know, point at it and then go to 0 meters per second, you know, burn off all the relative velocity, and then point at it again until we eventually work out an encounter. But it does work. Alright, so... yeah, so these tanks, I gotta watch these tanks. They're about to, I'm gonna have to stage these when I go to land. Oh, I need an EVA report? Ooh. Hey, nice. And I'm basically using the X science here and now mod to keep track of my science. It's really useful for science or career mode. And that's going to be my target. That particular docking port. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of get to it really close to line up with it, actually. Then turn towards it. Control from here. Make sure I get the precise alignment I want. And turn towards it and use RCS to lock on. And then we should be pretty close. I definitely will install the docking port alignment indicator mod because that really makes it a lot easier, and I feel like it's within the spirit of the game without actually changing too much. All right, so let's see, let me get a little bit more. All right, and there we go. Adster will be the first one to visit my MUN station. All right, easy lock there. Do a quick save. Got my docking thing, so I'm going to go back to the Space Center to make sure that gets recorded. And then... I just got a very funny message that I can't share, but oh, nice. Automated science sampler. That's cool. Is that... this must be... like, I started using X Science a long time ago. I never really looked at anything else. But that's cool if there's a... rendezvous two vessels. Okay. Build a new orbital station around Kerbin. I'm going to accept that one. Because then I can expand my other station. I get paid to do it. Alright. I think this is... yeah. So, yeah, no, I'll have to check out the automated science thing. But I got a very funny message that I can't share from someone about their problems with marijuana. Not even once, guys. Just really stay away from the devil's lettuce. That's bad. Oh, they work together? Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Control from here. And then undock. And then RCS away a little bit. Just a little dab. Do a quick save. Now we've got to plan an encounter with this. Geez, I'm behind it. Problem with Pot is there's never enough around. That was his problem, yes. That was his issue, and then his rather silly behavior after the fact, trying to deal with his lack of it, which is pretty funny, to be honest with you. Yeah, I can't get lower than that. I don't think I can get much lower than that thing. So I'm just going to let it go around a couple orbits and then get a little closer. Here we go. I'm going to set a maneuver. Periapsis of about 10 kilometers. Man, I got too much crap on the screen. Get that out of the way. Oh, EVA report. Oh, crap. EVA. Do a report. What? Oh, I missed it. Damn. Okay. Headwind scrap. Gotten very quiet because I'm trying to keep this. That's good enough. 2 kilometers. Science! Exactly. I've been blinded with it. I also sell CBD oil. Yeah, you know, it's funny. They just really re-legalized that in Indiana, which is where we're at. That was a bit of a thing, and did not take long when it was realized for stuff to be everywhere. Like I was at a gas station maybe a week after and it was just so much CBD oil crap. Like I had never seen that many particular kinds of CBD oil product in one place. Now, I personally would never engage in anything of that nature, of course, because that would be illegal. Anyone watching that is a law enforcement officer. Yeah, the vape shops are all over it. I'm sure they are. This gas station basically had a CBD shrine. Like they put so they had like they were on it so hard. Oh crap. Switch to target mode. It is not legal where I am. CBD was illegal in Indiana. There was a brief bugaboo about the legality of CBD oil in the state of Indiana. I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Eli Lilly is also here. It's definitely nothing to do with that. And that Eli Lilly, a large drug company, is, one of the largest donors to our state assembly. It's unrelated. Oh, come on. Stay on it. I can get EVA report? Ugh. All right, come on. Do the EVA report. My tank looking okay. I don't even need to get that close, to be honest with you. I'm within range now, but make the transfer easier. All right, and then we need to switch to this guy. Another pilot. Ugh. I mean, I need pilots for stuff, but I don't need a pilot on this mission. I was kind of hoping to be a scientist. Yes, I'm sure it was CBD. I know you can buy CBD on Amazon. There was a brief window where CBD. There were some issues with legality of CBD in Indiana. I guarantee THC products will not be legal in Indiana until they are legal everywhere, because we are real backwards about that. Board. All right. And then the last thing we got to do is find, where is he? Why can't I see him on the map? All right, well, we'll save and go back to the Space Center. I can't find Analyze on the map. And I know the contract hasn't expired because we're still in year 1, I think. Hi, kitty. Come here. Okay, there you go. You want to talk? You want to talk? Okay. Oh, that's why. Somehow everything got probes, rovers, landers, ships, stations. Sites. That was weird. All right. There we go. Stop it. Still come stop it. Don't rub the microphone. I'm going to have to rework this maneuver, I'm sure, but give me some idea of how much delta V I need to expend to make that change and deorbit. Yeah, stop rubbing the microphone. Look, you're cute. All right, so we'll no warp here. Yeah, I'll have to adjust that a little bit. Your teeth is feeling. My cat's got bad teeth. He's old. All right, let's see here. Make a slight adjustment to this. Just the location, and then... Nope, other way. No, too far. Come on, don't do this to me. There we go. I want to overshoot it a little bit because I can always burn off horizontal velocity. Save again. Warp down to execute this burn. Good enough. Set surface, retrograde, check my tanks again. Those are... Go ahead and stage. Nope. Stage again. There we go. Get rid of those tanks. How are we doing on those? Yeah, it worked out pretty good. Improve my thrust away ratio, too. Yeah, I got much better landing legs now. Feeling good about that. You know what? I want to go ahead and burn radial out. And, Snookum, stop. No, you're blocking the keys. You're blocking the keys. Monster. This way I can get a little bit more, hang time. And then fly over the... Because I'm going to start my suicide. I'm going to start my burn. Here, and then... I'm actually going to radial out a little bit more. I think. Give myself a little extra time. That way, when I do my burn, I can just wait till I pass. I should pass pretty close to over it. Yeah. Oh, that was my fuel tank sitting on the ground. Like, what the heck just exploded? But it's those drop tanks. I'm gonna overshoot this a little bit. Ooh, empty tanks. Drop tanks. Oh, Snookums. What's the matter? There we go. All right, cool. Save. I don't think I'm close enough to switch to the... Oh, I am. Okay, cool. So I can just have him RCS over to me. Wait. Yeah. Stop it. You know, I should have brought a seismic scanner. I should have added a seismic scanner to this. I could have gotten some samples. Yeah, save often. Yeah, no kidding. What am I doing on fuel? Oh, plenty. Okay. So I'm actually going to see how many hours I've played in this game. It made me... Solaris made me think about it. How many hours I've actually played. Too many, probably. I was talking to somebody the other day, and somebody else was listening to the conversation. We were talking about different rockets and stuff like that. Somebody's like, "You know a lot about space." I was like, "Yeah, funny story about how much time I've wasted on this game." Let's see where the crew... Crew hatches. There we go. Board. Oh. Board. There we go. What is Anwise? I didn't even look. Engineer. Oh, man. Wish I had more scientists. I mean, that's what I actually need. All right. Quick save here. I'm going to go back and delete some of my old save games. Why is it like... Okay. There we go. And we're ready to go. I'm going to lock these on here. Got 1,294 meters per second, and we're going to burn in a relatively easterly direction. And then up. Yes, it is legal to purchase in Indiana. I think there was a problem with legality before. And yeah, there was talk about recreational marijuana in Illinois. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's already medical, although their medical restrictions are way more restrictive than like California. Drop those tanks. Empty. Yeah, 1,200 something meters per second. And you need like 500 to get back from the Mon. So we got plenty. Ignore that fuel tank because it's not there anymore. Oh, I can retract my landing legs too. All right, get my orbital inclination a little more reasonable. So I got plenty of delta V. I could figure out a way. I could actually get an encounter with Kerbin as is, but I think I'm going to do it this way. Give me a little bit more, make it easier to actually get the encounter later, and I've got enough to do it. Watching my inclination here. It's 2 degrees, which is still probably more than I want, but oh, did it the wrong way. Now there we go. So if I do this right, if I burn here, that should give me a come on, stop it. There we go. Why did I put that on the wrong side? Trying to get my periapsis inside. There we go. We're going to recover this mission, and then that should be it. Not a bad looking capsule, actually, all things considered. Especially how bad most of the stuff looks in Kerbal Space Program. Or I should say how mismatched everything looks in Kerbal Space Program. That was one of the big things that they added, you know, that you could like change tank colors and stuff like that on some of the parts, and I wish they'd done it on more, because that would have been really nice. Just being able to reskin parts would be real nice. And also changing fuel type, you know. Being able to have big just liquid fuel tanks would be nice. Especially for those long interplanetary missions where we're using nuclear engines. Alright, let's see, how's that looking? Yeah, there we go. We'll warp to here. What the shit? What just happened? Love it when it bugs like that. Alright, so, orbit. Oh, actually, I want to be pointing away for where I'll be. Stage. Retract solar panels. Retract antenna. And then we will point retrograde. Check what my deploy height is. Nope. Hear my spacecraft breaking up around me. Make sure those are staged. Parachutes. That's interesting. Oh, it was forcing it to point retrograde to orbit. That was the mistake. All right, as soon as we land and recover these guys, I'll collect my money, and that'll be it for tonight. Just gotta wait. All right, recover vessel. Successful mission. We completed 3 missions in one trip. We did the docking thing. We did the docking thing. We did the rescues. Are both rescues, and we came back and we got some science out of it too. 522. Field science. Don't really need that. Don't need that. Gonna want these eventually, but I don't think I need those. Extendable docking port. Might as well go for. I think I'm good for the shielded docking port, maybe, and also the large protective shell. Those are the two. I don't really need the shielded docking port right now. I don't need a girder segment, and I don't need a quad coupler. So we'll go for composites. That'll give us some structural panels and all this other nonsense that I don't really need, but will give me clampetron and the airstream protective shell. So I think that's going to be the choice, and that is it for tonight. So thanks everybody for watching. I do this every Monday and Wednesday. I will be back. I should be back this Wednesday to do more of this career mode. And so we're a good way along unlocking the science tree and all that stuff, the tech tree. But there's still a little bit more work to do. And actually, this last bunch is the hardest to get rid of. So we'll work on that here in the next time. And I will see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Stay safe out there. I'm just copying Scott Manley now when he says fly safe. I don't know. Have fun. Bye.